Hello, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories slash Coffee with Cannon uh, on this cold January 27th, 2022. We've been continuously covering the shootings of the officers, Police Officer Jason Rivera and Police Officer Wilbert Mora. And you know something, I think it's almost our duty to do this. I've taken on this role of unofficial role myself of trying to be the voice of some of the guys on the NYPD and support folks on the NYPD because you know something, you can't speak out when you're a police officer. Uh, so you depend on other people to speak out. And once you know when you do retire from the NYPD, it's sort of liberating because all of a sudden you're allowed to speak again. You could speak your mind, you could speak your opinion, and I want to speak about nothing but the heroics, the heroes actually, Officer Jason Rivera and Officer Wilbert Mora. You know, the police service is the policing in itself as a profession is a closed society. It's a closed society in the way that we let people in, but you really can't appreciate what it's like to wear that uniform, strap on that gun, have that shield over your left chest until you've actually done it and you've responded to hundreds, thousands of gun runs, domestic violence calls, robberies, burglaries, sexual assaults. And there's that camaraderie that comes with that, that comes with having the same experiences and having risked your life for other human beings who you're not related to, but yet they are your brothers, you know. So I just wanted, and you know, I also wanted to talk, and I'm going to go on later tonight at 8:15. I'm doing a show tonight again, dedicated Police Officer Jason Rivera and Police Officer Wilbert Mora of the 3-2 precinct. Um, I want to talk also about the heroes in the 3-2 precinct that were not involved in this job, but are still heroes in my mind. A great precinct, a proud precinct. Um, I think we as New Yorkers, we as former cops, we need to praise these guys, you know, and we need to support them because their lives aren't going to be any easier once police officer Jason Rivera is buried and once police officer Wilbert Moore is buried. They still have that post traumatic stress of realizing that anytime you go to work, you could lose your life. And I don't understand or know if civilians can appreciate that, can fully understand that. And you know, I just, you know, a retired captain wrote to me and said, um, Andy DiStefano, I'll call him out by name. Uh, he wrote to me and said, "What you're doing is so very important, and keep it up because not just the folks on the job, but the people retired from the job. They need somewhere to go to express themselves and to commiserate with other people that have been through this. And if people appreciate this, then I'm happy to do it. This is coffee with Cannon. I'm drinking tea today, though. So if you don't mind, too much coffee is too much sometimes. You know, uh, these cops were the best. Here's a picture of police officer Wilbert Mora, and one of the things that was just amazing is the fact that in death he saved 5 lives through organ donation, which is just an unbelievable thing. So in death, he saves 5 lives, you know, always saving lives. And just incredible. There's a picture of the front of the 3-2 precinct. I'm going to play a little bit of some file tape here too, because I think that not only is the police service and members of the service touched by this, but I believe that the entire, and I hope the entire city of New York is touched by this because if you're not touched by this, then you have your no heart. And I just want to play a little bit of I'm going to share the screen and play this little file tape.
Start to say farewell to the 2 cops ambushed and murdered last Friday night in Harlem. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Jim Dolan.
Hundreds came to the 3-2 precinct tonight. They packed 135th Street in Harlem. They stood in the cold to share the burden for a moment of a pain that will last a lifetime. Some left candles on the sidewalk of sorrow out front. Some left flowers, and they shouted their support to the rooftops.
NYPD, we love you. NYPD, we love you. We stand with you. NYPD, we will never forget.
27-year-old Officer Wilbert Mora was shot while responding to a domestic violence call on Friday night. He died yesterday from those injuries. 22-year-old Officer Jason Rivera was shot during the same call and died from his injuries on Friday. Two good, brave young men who left behind a department. They left behind friends devastated by their loss. Two young officers spoke about Wilbert Mora tonight.
I miss you, my brother.
Okay.
Got you, bro.
We got you. We here for you, man.
I'm still hoping it's all a dream, and I wake up tomorrow. It's all a nightmare, actually. And I got to speak to you one last time, and I'll say I'm sorry. Sorry for not being there.
Your smile lit up a room. Your smile, your laugh changed everyone's mood. And to know that.
Yeah, God. Love you. It's okay. Let it out. Let it out. God got you.
To know that we're not going to get that again, it hurts. And I'm sorry I couldn't be here to hold you. But I'm always going to remember you.
The officers, the department, embraced by the community tonight, the community they are a part of.
We are one community. We stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and heart to heart.
Earlier in the day, a somber procession of grief and loss. The NYPD stood at attention, an honor guard for the honored dead. NYPD choppers watched from a clear blue sky above as the body of Officer Mora was carried to a funeral home in Inwood on his final journey home.
For it was great.
Tonight there were prayers and hymns, and there was in Harlem community.
Please keep the men and women of 3-2 Precinct in your prayers.
Folks, if you're not touched by that, you're not human. You know, it's just unbelievable. And I intend to go to the funeral tomorrow morning at St. Patrick's Cathedral. I should just post it up on the screen so anyone that does want to go. The wake is today. I believe it's between 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. And the funeral for Officer Jason Rivera is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Wilbert Mora, the wake will be Tuesday, February 1st, and the funeral will be Wednesday, February 2nd. I also believe at 900 hours. Pat Lynch in his speech, he said that if you really support the police and if you really support these officers, then show your support by going to the wake, going by the funeral, join us in support the police. There's been so much anti-police rhetoric that, we definitely could use the support of the community, because I just want to see, 2 weeks from now, or a month from now, will the community of the 3-2 precinct be as supportive of the police 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month from now as they are, or they were last night? I hope that is the case. There are those that choose to try to rip us apart, and right now, policing, not just in New York, but in this country, needs support. We need support of the community, because when politicians pass crazy, stupid laws that are anti-police laws, we need the electorate to fight back by unelecting some of these people that come up with these crazy ideas, and we know some of those ideas. And I wanted to try to keep this to just praising Police Officer Jason Rivera and Police Officer Wilbert Mora. This is what the police commissioner said the other day. Wilbert is 3 times a hero for choosing a life of service, for sacrificing his life to protect others, for giving life even in death through organ donation. Our heads are bowed and our hearts are heavy. NYPD Commissioner Keechant Sewell. Thank you, Police Commissioner, for that. And I think everyone really appreciates that, and on the screen again is a picture of Police Officer Wilbert Mora. And, folks, if you want to donate to the families of Officer Jason Rivera and Police Officer Wilbert Mora, you can go on a site called Fund the First, and it's run by an NYPD detective named Robert Garland. And at this point, I think last time I checked, there was $309,000 in that fund. And look, the families of these two heroes, that you can never give them enough money, is my feelings. The other thing is, if you want to help out the 3-2 precinct cops, I'm going to put it in the chat. It's sort of a funny thing. You can go on Venmo, and the link is Quack32PCT, and the name that is associated with that is Scott DiBiseglio. I'll write that too, so that you're in the right spot. Saying I spelled it wrong. Okay, here we go. I spelled it right now. So associated with that Quack 32 PCT is Scott DiBiseglio, who's a former 3-2 police officer. So it just shows you that the family of the 3-2 extends generations back. Lieutenant Peter Pranzo, a legend in the 3-2. I think he's in the chat today. I thought I saw him somewhere in the chat, but he is always a supporter of Police Off the Cuff, a supporter of Coffee with Cannon, and a supporter of all things police. That's Lieutenant Peter Pranzo. Richella, I see you, Richella, in the chat. Richella's Pete's wife. Pete is a legendary NYPD lieutenant, worked for years and years and years in the 3-2 precinct, and he definitely feels 3-2 is his family. These are some of the pictures from in front of. They had a vigil, I believe, in front of the 3-2. It was last night, and I want to play another little short thing. It was the escort of the casket of the officers to St. Patrick's Cathedral. Let me just play a little bit of this. I'll put it up on the screen. Yeah, folks that are watching this, you can see this is St. Patrick's Cathedral on 49th and 5th Avenue in New York City. Right now it's silent. They're just watching the picture of the cathedral doors wide open. Some officers from the ceremonial unit. They've just opened the doors. You got the Emerald Society bagpipers are there. They're scanning over the crowd right now. You can see a sea of blue, and that looks like that's the ceremonial unit awaiting the arrival of Police Officer Jason Rivera's body, his casket, and as you can see, there's nothing like a police funeral for touching someone's heart. It's just, even if you don't know the officer or his family, it's just such a heartbreaking thing to watch, and especially when the officer was killed in the line of duty. So you're seeing that on the screen right now for those that are listening. That's why I'm trying to narrate this so you know what's going on. Angela Ang put it up on, I'm going to put it up on the screen too. Donate to the families of the fallen NYPD officers. Fundthefirst.com/campaign/NYPD line of duty death police officer Jason Rivera. And the whole thing is on the screen. So if you need to refer to it, you could go back to this recording. Jennifer Thornhill, I'm so sorry for the families. My heart goes out to them. May God hold them close and protect them. Absolutely. Duty Ron, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. NYPD Blue forever, backing the blue worldwide. You must rest in peace, P.O. Rivera and P.O. Mora. We will take it from here. That's such a touching thing, We will take it from here. That's it's an unbelievable thing. I'm just going to speed up the recording so we can see the funeral procession come up to St. Patrick's Cathedral, of the procession carrying police officer Rivera's casket. I should have sped this up a little before, but you get the feeling. You can hear the bells chiming from St. Patrick's Cathedral. You know, a very touching thing. St. Patrick's Cathedral is usually reserved for the deaths of heads of state, of politicians, of celebrities, and these are our celebrities. Police Officer Rivera and Police Officer Mora. As you can see, front of St. Patrick's Cathedral, I would imagine that's the family, Police Officer Rivera. Again, very, very touching pictures you're seeing here. All hundreds of cops, ceremonial unit, perhaps from the 3-2, Officer Rivera's family, walking up into the cathedral. Very, very touching. I know there's a little bit of silence right now, guys, for those watching it and not just listening. I'm going to try to keep. Back to the screen. So, folks, one of the reasons that, I want to talk to you guys during the day is not just for my mental health, for yours too, that we can share this and sort of grieve together and realizing that the officers left behind as a department, you know, they need help. They need emotional help. They need, it's almost like having a coach saying, "You can still do it. Come on, don't quit. Keep going, keep going." Knowing that to be a police officer is a calling. It's not just a job. It's a calling, and the people that don't feel it as a calling, maybe they shouldn't do that for a living. And I'm not telling anyone to quit the police department. I'm saying it's bigger than a job. It's a much bigger thing than a job. Every day that you go home, you have your shield in your left pocket. You have your gun on your right or your left hip, depending on if you're righty or lefty, obviously. And it's something that it's always with you. I call things like copisms, things we say, things we do, like taking the door that faces the door in a restaurant. Um, it's just an incredible profession, but it's a calling. And the police in New York City and across the country, we really need the backing of the community. We need the backing of the government. We need the backing of the same people that maybe 6 months ago were talking about defunding us, and we know who they are, though. We know who they are. I call them wolves in sheep's clothing. Now, some of the same people were saying defund the police 6 months ago, acting like they're big supporters of the police. But guess what? There's something called videotape and there's something called audio tape, and we can hear what you said and we can look at it, what you said. So you're not going to fool us now that all of a sudden you're acting like you're big supporters of the NYPD. Savage Media, coffee from my mate Cannon, God rest their souls. We miss all the fallen officers who keep us safe. Thank you, Savage Media. I really appreciate that. 100%. And for the folks that do this, the folks that do these podcasts, the duty runs, my partner Mark DeMeo and Angel Masonette that are going to go on tonight at 7:00 and do another tribute to Officer Jason Rivera and Officer Wilbert Mora. Let's support them too. And I'm going to be on tonight at 8:15 with retired NYPD Lieutenant Darren Porcher, who is a professor. He's a voice of reason as a talking head on television all the time. And we need people like that. We need voices of reason, especially sometimes, the press isn't all that police friendly sometimes, and the press is, they're not always let's put it this way, they're not always on our side, and I know they have a job to do. They have to report a story, but they don't have to make up things. I always talk about stop, question, and frisk, which is such a important police activity, and how the press hijacked that term and chose to call it stop and frisk, which was a demeaning term, and where they weaponized that activity against the police because they were trying to sensationalize it. And every police officer across this city knows it's not called stop and frisk. It's called stop, question, and frisk. And the reason for that is because the questioning part of the stop can raise, and without me going into my professorial mode and teaching a class on stop, question, and frisk, the question part of it can raise the level of suspicion to reasonable suspicion, which the level of suspicion needed to conduct a frisk. So when the press takes out the question part, they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it to weaponize that against the police because they're trying to sensationalize the stop as if the NYPD is just stopping people without reasonable suspicion. So, folks, I would also implore everyone that's in this chat, that's a supporter of Police Off the Cuff, that's a supporter of. There's Lieutenant Pete. Lieutenant Pete's in the chat. Good to see you, Lieutenant. Thank you, Lou. It's a great thing to hear from other cops, and I just want to implore anyone who's in the chat, anyone who's in the New York area, the New York City area, to try to make it to the funeral tomorrow. And if you can't, you can follow it online. You could donate to the GoFundMe. You could donate to the 32 Quack PCT. I love that 32 Quack PCT on Venmo. But folks, the backing of the police and support is needed. I'd like to say that this is Coffee with Cannon, but I'm drinking tea today, but that's okay. Every once in a while, I have to have a little tea, Schmitty, today is the wake. Tomorrow at 0900 is the funeral. I put it up on the screen, and I'll put it up on the screen again, so there's no confusion. The wake is today, which is Thursday. It's from 1 p.m., I believe, to 8, maybe as late as 9. I'm not sure. They should have put the time on here. And tomorrow's the funeral at 0900. And the wake for Police Officer Wilbert Mora is going to be Tuesday, February 1st, and the funeral Wednesday, February 2nd. And I believe it will be the same times. The wake would be from 1 to 9 p.m., and the funeral would be from 0900. So just so you guys know, and if you're in the city, if you're anywhere near, even if you want to follow it online, it's to support the NYPD. I think we would all appreciate that. I think I was speaking for most folks, Um, it's just, there's been so much activity over this, a lot of politics. You're hearing a lot of politics, a lot of politicians like to get mileage out of things that they like to get mileage out of things that getting a lot of public attention. It's getting a lot of public attention. So uh, they want to get some mileage out of it, and they're saying a lot of things. A lot of people are saying a lot of things. Let's see if they mean it. Um, a month from now, 2 months from now. Let's see. We say they could talk the talk. Let's see if they can walk the walk. So that's all part of it. And again, we of course want and need the support of the community, and the 3-2 community, the 3-2 precinct, Central Harlem, has some of the best cops in the whole city. And they should really appreciate their cops. Because they've been doing that kind of job uh, for years, 50 years. We'll go back to Lieutenant Peter Pranzo's time. Um, Savage Media, again, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm across the pond, but you have my full support, and tea in England is a must. Tea with Cannon is cool too. NYPD rock. Thank you, Savage Media. I really appreciate that. Yeah, every once in a while I'll have a cup of tea, and this show that started in me garden, as you guys would say, has moved in the house because it's too damn cold to be out in me garden. So it's coffee with Cannon inside, and just I think this is helpful to talk it out, and to just give some support, not just to the officers from the 3-2, which who needs the most support, but to retired officers too, officers that are feeling this pain, just as if it was a member of their family. And so that they get someplace they can go, and even if they can't come here when I'm doing the show live, they can listen to it later on. And I think it helps to commiserate. It helps to be around other cops, other like-minded people who are suffering right now, who are mourning right now. Hello, Marilyn Fisher. How are you? Good to see you guys. We just call some people out in the chat. Single Mama 4, great to see you. Janine Goodwin, good to see. Retired Sergeant Melinda, great, always great to see you. She says, yes, actions speak louder than words. 100%. Schmitty, crime increasing all over this country. My sister saw a gun manufacturer commercial the other day. What? Yeah, no, what? It happens. Angela Ang, thank you so much for what you do. She's my best moderator, and she helps me out with a lot of stuff to do with this channel, making some videos for me. Marilyn Minetta, all I can say is thank you to the families that kiss their dads and husbands or wife and daughter. God bless every one of you amazing families that support their loved ones' choices to become a cop. Well, thank you, Marilyn Minetta. That was very heartfelt and very, very nice. Tara Ellis, this must be a really hard time for you all. My heart goes out to New York City. The times where we come together, that's you wish that could always be. But I remember, and Duty runs in the chat, some other folks that were on the job during 9/11. There was such a spirit of camaraderie for the NYPD and for the FDNY and for first responders. It was so great to be a cop around then. But it quickly faded. It lasted maybe a month or two, if that long. And then we went back to being, the popo, just the popo. And so we know that this feeling of unity, this New York City feeling of unity, is only going to last till the next negative cop incident, and then all of a sudden, we're going to be the enemy again, which we should never, ever, ever be the enemy. Ramona Madrid, my heart goes out to P.O. Sulon. I'm sure he has a lot of survivor's guilt, plus being on the force just a few weeks. Ramona, 100%. And we spoke about Officer Sulon in my mind, a tremendous hero. And we hope and pray that he gets the support. We hope and pray that he stays on the job and he weathers this, because he's going to be a great officer, a great detective, a great boss. Whatever path he decides to take in his career, he's going to be a great one, because he's already shown greatness. And we support him, and we pray for him, and we hope that he gets. The department has to also admit that people need help. People need to have counseling, and probably the whole 3-2 precinct. Every single cop there should get counseling. Uh, Duty Ron is acknowledging what I said before. Yeah, the good feelings and the unity for the city fades fast, and we know that. We who have been around for a lot of years, we know that. And I just wanted to, come here today and salute this officer here. The amazing thing, and it was said by the police commissioner, that with his death, he saved 5 lives through organ donations. It's just like incredible that that's what occurred. Donated his organs. Just unbelievable. There's a picture of Officer Wilbert Mora in the front of the 3-2 precinct. Again, all the candles. Just think all the young officers that took this job, and I hope they have a strong calling, that they stay with it, they don't quit, because it is a good job, and it is an amazing job. But it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak person. You have to be strong, and to continue the strength. If you need help, go get help. There's people out there that can help you. There's some great police psychologists, Dr. Stephen Washkel from Staten Island, of who I've had on the show numerous times. And he's not the only one. There's some other great NYPD psychologists that can help you out. There's some great people in the chat, that have been through a lot of stuff. We've all been on this job. We've all seen this stuff before. Easy 325, rest in peace, NYPD officers Mora and Rivera. They gave their lives to protect their common man. That's for sure. Duty Ron echoes my sentiment. Dr. Stephen Washkel is amazing. David Pigman, hello, retired from the job in Ohio. God bless all of our brothers and sisters out there. Rest in peace to those who have left us. Thank you, David Pigman. Appreciate that. Janine Goodwin, salute these heroes is right. God bless these heroes, and may they rest in your lap of peace, dear Lord, for eternity. They will never be forgotten. Duty Ron has reached out to Dr. Stephen Washkel recently for a fellow friend. You're always helping people, Ron, and that's an amazing thing. All right, folks, something, as I said, I'm going to be back on tonight at 8:15 with Dr. Darren Porcher, retired NYPD lieutenant, who's got some very strong opinions, a very articulate guy, professor at Pace University. And of course, straight out of Brooklyn, my buddy and co-host, retired NYPD detective Phil Grimaldi. So, folks, thank you so much for this support that I get, because not only am I hoping that I help some of you guys, but you're helping me through listening and allowing me to talk to you during these tough times. And we could call that, what's my favorite word? Cross-pollination, we'll call it, right? So, folks, have a great day. Have a safe day. And I'll see you tonight, hopefully at 8:15, when Police Off the Cuff goes live. Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. Have a great day now.